Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. In today's review I'm taking a look at the Companions and Foe of the 13th Doctor set, which is exclusive to B&M stores in the UK and is the last of this current lineup of sets that I have to review. So a massive thank you needs to go out to Dan Hambridge, who very kindly picked up this set for me at Bristol Imperial Park B&M before some sod came along and bought everything, apparently. Came in the evening, bought a load of stuff, then came back in the morning and bought the rest of the stuff. So I hope he has a very unpleasant day for being a horrible scalping git. But yes, a massive thank you to Dan for doing that and for getting there before that horrible man did. And yes, let's begin by taking a look at the packaging. So as you can see, the figures come packaged in the standard 3-pack window box with the new style guide, the blue and the grey and the Tardis. And as you can see on the front, it has this lovely gold foil sticker which says it's limited edition. Now it's worth pointing out, if you've watched my previous reviews, you'll see that none of the other boxes have those stickers on them. And that's because only the sets that come from B&M themselves have these limited edition stickers on them. If you're buying these sets from shops in the US or Australia, you won't have the foil sticker. Apparently that was something B&M wanted themselves. So I really like that. I think that's a nice touch. And then if we turn around to the back of the box, we get a look at the figures inside. So out of the box, here we have our 3 figures. We've got Yaz, Ryan, and a Judoon Trooper. Now what I will say immediately is that the sculpts for Yaz and Ryan are absolutely superb. In fact, I think they're probably some of the best head sculpts we've had in the line. They're just so good. So I'm going to start off with Yaz, who I think is particularly excellent. I mean, immediately, as soon as you look at it, you know exactly who it's meant to be, and they have just done a tremendous job of capturing her likeness. I think it's absolutely brilliant. The paint apps on her face are really strong. There are no bleeds or anything like that. Very neat around the eyes and the lips. The hair is a really lovely sculpt as well. You've got all the different strands leading up to the 2 buns on either side of her hair. And then you have these 3 long strands that come over the shoulders and off to the back. So that is a separate PVC piece, so it's nice soft plastic, which means that when you turn the head, it doesn't actually affect the movement. It moves very smoothly. It doesn't stick or get in the way or anything. A fantastic head sculpt, even down to very small details like the earrings, which have been sculpted and then highlighted with this silver paint, and it's just really great. When it catches the light and you see it, it's really impressive detailing. So yeah, I absolutely love the sculpt on this. I think they've done a real good job of capturing Mandit. She looks beautiful. And then we move down to the costume. So the body is a reuse of a primeval figure. In fact, it's the same body that was used on the Romana 1 figure in the Companions of the 4th Doctor box set. And actually, I think this is a pretty good match for what we see in the episode. So this is based on her appearance in It Takes You Away. As far as I'm aware, I believe that's the case. I'm sure if I'm wrong, someone in the comments can point that out to me. But I did have a quick look last night online just to see what possible stories this was from, and this and Ryan's figure both seem to be from that story, so that's what I'm going with. The leather jacket, very similar to what she wears in the story, is a great sculpt for it with these flared sleeves and the buttons on the outside and the different seams and stuff. It works much better, I think, for Yaz's jacket than it does necessarily for Romana 1's. The only real major difference between this and what she actually wears in the programme is that in the programme she's wearing a sort of whitish jumper, and on this she's just got a white shirt on. And, you know, although it's a different item of clothing, it still works fine. It creates that basic silhouette of what she's wearing in that episode, and quite honestly I don't really mind so long as we've got a figure of her. And then if we move down to the trousers, the legs have been cast in this blue plastic, and we have the belt and the buckle that's been picked out in different paints, so the brown for the belt and the silver for the buckle. And then again for the shoes, a lighter brown paint on the top and then darker brown for the soles. So again, they've done a really nice job with her. So I imagine this is not the only figure of Yaz that we'll see, because they've now tooled this new head. I imagine they'll at least try and get another variant out. But for the first one, I think they've done a really super job with her. And now if we move over to Ryan, again, another super likeness, absolutely spitting image of Tosin Cole. They've done a great job. All of the paint apps are again nice and crisp, there's no bleed or any slop like that, particularly around the eyes, the eyebrows and the lips. Very nicely done. I particularly like the way that they've done the fading on his hair, so the sculpted portion on the top is a lot darker, and then they've just added a slightly dark wash around the side, around the back towards the ears, and it is very, very effective. It's really, really great. In terms of costume, again, it's using another primeval figure. I think it's Nick Cutter. I don't know all the names, I never watched the programme. And honestly, this is again quite a good match, because he does wear a jacket similar to this. He doesn't wear it done up, and he does wear this light blue t-shirt underneath. And they've just tried to show a bit of that, as you can see, with the sculpt that they've got to hand. In terms of paint applications on the jacket, really great. It's a dark green, and then they've applied this lighter green wash over the top, which really just helps to bring out the details, particularly the sculpting on the pockets around the front and on the back. And then they've also highlighted the buttons of the sculpt with some silver paint. And just to try and make it that little bit closer to what Ryan wears in the programme, they've also added additional buttons to the pockets on the front. Again, this is just by a couple of dots of paint, and it works well. Then moving down to the legs, these are just cast in a light grey plastic with a darker grey wash over the top, and this works really well in bringing out all of the sculpt details, all of the creases and the seams. And then to finish it off, he's wearing a pair of simple black boots. So I'm really pleased that we've got Ryan and Yaz as figures in the line. Obviously now that means with Graham O'Brien and the 13th Doctor, we have the full Tardis family, and they've done an amazing job on all of them. I've already reviewed Graham earlier in the year, and I was really pleased with how they did his head sculpt. So now having the full team together is really, really cool. So I'm very pleased with how these guys have come out. I think the original plan was for them to come out last year, but because the series was off the air, they delayed it till this year, which made a lot more sense. And honestly, I think it's worth the wait. These are really, really great figures. Then we move on to the Judoon Trooper. So earlier in the year, we had the release of the new Judoon captain from Fugitive of the Judoon, which of course was one of the most memorable stories of Series 12. And one of the things that I pointed out in my review of the Judoon Trooper was how much I love the sculpt of these figures. And having this re-released makes no exception. It's still a brilliant sculpt. There is so much going on here, and a few things have been changed. There's some new tooling to the figure, and of course with its accessory, and some new paint decorations. So if we take a look at the helmet, as you can see, the sculpting here, very impressive. Lots of different things going on with all the ridges and the seams around the helmet. It looks really cool. Particularly, you can see the mesh around the eye sections have been sculpted, and this time round these have been highlighted with a silver paint to really draw attention to that sculpting detail, which I think works really well. And then if we move down to the body, you can see there's so much going on with all the bits of armour on the arms and the shoulders. You can see there's fabric sculpted in between the plates of armour, and again more of these buckles and straps around the torso. And then we move down to the skirt section, which has been retooled since the original release. So the original had a holster for the handgun. The Judoon Troopers in this story don't have the handguns, they have these newly made rifles. So the holster section has been removed, and it's just been tweaked to accommodate that. And again, the sculpting here, really impressive. Again, more of these buckles and studs picked out in the silver paint, and really impressive that there's no bleeds or anything like that. And this again carries on down to these strips of leather for the skirt. And then these are finished off with the massive clunky boots, with a lot of attention to detail with the laces, the buckles, all of the silver detailing. Really very impressive. I know on the surface of it, it looks like a pretty simple figure because it's all black and silver, but there is so much going on with the sculpting here that I really do love it. I think it's such a great figure. And then of course we have this, his new gun. This is an entirely new piece of tooling, which is great, and the detail on this is very, very impressive. There's lots going on here. You can see there's all circuitry in the black portion of the barrel of the gun, all this segmented section towards the base of the barrel, lots going on around the handle, picked out in silver and black. Now in terms of getting him to hold it, it fits into his right hand pretty snugly. Trying to get it to look like he's holding it with two hands can be a bit tricky. He doesn't quite grip onto the main barrel section, the chunkier bit, but there's that silver portion in the middle that you can really fit it into his hands there, and that works really well. So overall, I'm really pleased that we got to have a Judoon Trooper to go with the captain, and hopefully there will be another way that this trooper comes out in the future so that people can army build it a lot easier than trying to get additional versions of Yaz and Ryan. Then in terms of articulation, well, Yaz and Ryan share exactly the same articulation. It's the sort of standard articulation that we're all used to. Swivel joints at the head, at the shoulders, at the biceps, swivel joints at the elbows, the wrists, the waist, at the hips so they can move forward and out to the sides, at the thighs, and swivel joints at the knees so they can pivot back and forth. The Judoon has very similar articulation, but has a little bit extra because of the need to hold the gun and things. So as you can see, he has swivel joints at the shoulders. There's no neck articulation, of course, because he doesn't have a neck. Articulation at the elbows, pivot back and forth, and also swivel all the way around 360 degrees. And he also has articulation at the wrists, waist, hips, so they can pivot forward and backwards, and out to the sides, at the thighs, and also at the knees. Final thoughts, well, I think this is a really great set. It's nice that we're able to finish off the 13th Doctor's TARDIS crew, and it's great that we've got an additional monster to add to the line, particularly to flank the already released Judoon Captain. So this is available now at B&M stores. I don't have to say check out at the end of the month. These are out now. This set is £20. All the sets are £20. So that's the Daleks, the 3-packs, the TARDIS, all £20 sets. Really good price for the 3 figures. And I hope you all manage to get hold of the sets that you're after. I know at the moment it seems very difficult because you've got absolute arseholes going out there buying loads of the figures, filling their car boots up with sets so they can sell them on eBay. I mean, I hope they get their just desserts in some way, but honestly, don't panic, don't go mad and fall for eBay prices if you can, because from what I understand, they have made loads of these sets, so hopefully they should be easy to get your hands on. It might just be a case of waiting a bit longer until they get things restocked. So I really do hope that that's the case for everybody. So good luck out there. Again, massive thanks to Dan Haimbridge for picking this up for me. And yes, happy hunting, and I hope you will get the sets that you want. And stay tuned for more reviews coming soon. And yeah, here's to more Doctor Who figure releases in the future, because this year's releases have been absolutely incredible. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye bye.